Welcome back to Crypto Comics, all you beautiful people in Webtown, for another day, another dollar, another comic, part of Rob Liefeld Appreciation Season here on Crypto Comics. This is the much anticipated GEX. Now, I'm going to go through a few of these previews. These previews began in the pages of Coven Volume 1, Issue 3, and ran through Coven Volume 1, Issue 6, technically. And we're just going to kind of go through it because the look, the feel, the vibe, it's all very different. This is something that I have not seen from Rob Liefeld before, and I want to check it out. And Rob actually does the work himself on this, which is really cool. While he had other people drawing all of these other awesome entertainment comic books, Rob was really focused on GEX. For some reason, he must have really felt that this was going to be something spectacular, and it is different. So let's check it out. Stories and Pencils by Rob Liefeld, writer Jeph Loeb, inker Jonathan Sebal. There's a famous story about G. Gordon Liddy, the CIA agent and Watergate conspirator. At a dinner party one night in Washington, he held his bare arm over a candle until his flesh was seared. The horrified hostess could not resist asking, "What's the trick?" "The trick," Liddy replied casually, "is not minding." As the man called Scarab combs the streets of yet another war-torn city, this one south of Sarajevo, he thinks about that story and how long ago he learned that trick. Scarab hunts a prey that he knows the world would be better off without. There is no doubt, no minding. "Damn you to hell, Scarab!" "I've made peace with God, boy. I suggest you, do the same." Chuck, chuck, patoom. Please. You're funny, kid. First you try scrambling my brains like a fistful of eggs. Then you go begging for mercy. You're a day late and $1 short. Why? You've been targeted for extermination. What's that light? A beacon, Scarab. Another one. Why didn't I sense you, reject? Its brightness is only a reflection of the darkness which it must cut through. The dark mire of your soul. The murky waters of your sins. This is really, really impressive. I was given the name Angelique. You are being given a second chance, Scarab. What you choose to do with it is your own decision. Why me? Because it is your turn. For the first time in Scarab's life, he can't remember the trick. Next, Dragon and Genie. So I would read this little letter from Rob Liefeld, but it doesn't really have anything to do with GEX, so we're just going to skip it. How about that? Boom. Here we go again. More GEX. Rob Liefeld. This is Coven Issue 4. No escape for you, Genie. You are ours, sweet meat. It was the end of the beginning, falling out of the heavens themselves and into some newfound destiny. Lord Goblin will have you as his bride this day, or he will have your head on a pike. They were goblins. Of that much I held sure. Creatures of myth and magic. I would have no choice but to fight through a sea of them, certain they had greater knowledge about me than I now held about myself. Godless monsters, whatever plans your master have for me, be they bride or be they corpse, he will find but one answer, the blade of my sword, Dragon. Blood for you all. When they spoke my name, Genie, it sounded like an echo, lost among the clouds. For now, it could not matter. For now, only survival was at issue. Your choice then, flesh sack. Ugh, this is interesting. Death becomes you. Blam, blam, blam. And in that heartbeat I encountered that single defining moment which would forever change my life. Discovered! Kill the golden hair before... Chuck! You have been given a second chance to do something with your life. Who dares? That's Angelique. I go by Scarab. You, on the other hand, are sighted and targeted as a Class 1 GEX. That means in about 20 ticks, this place crawls with exterminators. Angelique has made you an offer. If I were you, and anybody with 20/20 can see I'm not, I'd take it. Next, Beowulf. Wow. Let's keep going, huh? Figure out what the heck's going on here. More GEX. This cover is really nice. Wow, look at this. It feels like it's a blend of War Child and Evangeline. So far, that's what it feels like it's a blend of. Whoa, now this is totally different. He came here in search of peace after 10 lifetimes of war. The path that he had followed allowed for no mercy, only sheets of blood. The victims he defeated, the violence he embraced. This was the only life he knew. Now, no matter the cost, the most dangerous man alive had found a place to rest at last. The haven of practical innocence, the first garden, Eden. But even the Garden of Eden had its serpent. Beowulf, I know why you've come. I have turned my back on the outside world. I want only one thing, to be left alone. Sharp has sent us to take you back, in pieces if we wish, were his exact words. So, I'd just as soon bring him your mangy severed head, just to see the smile on his face. Leave now, and I will spare the rest. Wow. But you, I will make an example of. He could no longer remember what set him on this path. There were spoils, of course, riches and power to be gained. But if those things proved to be elusive, the solace he now longed for would prove to be unreachable. Slick. Slacked. To be continued. Oh, finally, here we go. World War Freak. 7 super soldiers, 11 real-time combat missions, 1,000 genetic mutations, 1,000,000 ways to die. Rob Liefeld's Youngblood, Search and Destroy. For PlayStation. Well, okay. Then, of course, we get to Coven issue 6, and on the flip side is this GEX preview. Beautiful cover, again. Rob is building to something special, and what we get here is something that would be a real treat for any inker or colorist out there who wants to test their mettle on Rob Liefeld's art. Here's your chance. You could buy this comic, scan these in, and you could ink them, and you could color them. And we are going to see some of this actual book in action, because there's a lot of unique stuff going on in this. The mark never actually existed, I don't think. So, where do we go from here? Well, technically we would go to GEX issue 0, but your boy Crypto doesn't own GEX issue 0 yet. Rather elusive it is. But I do own this stunning GEX issue 1 with a penciled drawing, a colored pencil drawing by Rob Liefeld that I just thought was really, really unique and beautiful. Scarab, Genie, Primer. Tum, tum, tum. Scarab's log, present day. I continue to keep this journal because I demand to know where you are taking me. You want the truth? Because, no, lie to me. Like those who came before me, I may not be alive to tell the stories. I'm not sure you can handle the truth. I will be the judge of that. X to the base, target sighted, extermination imminent. It's him, it's Scarab. He's just a target, like all the rest. Let's begin with someplace safe. At the very least, I owe it to mankind. And I know immediately what you're thinking right now is that Niobe's bike from Larry Patrick Higgins' hit independent comic book Niobe? I think that is Niobe's bike. I'm not positive, but I think so. I think it's also Wolverine's bike from the X-Men movie prequel comic books I've talked about. I also think it could be Akira's bike. We've seen this red bike quite a bit in comic books here on Crypto Comics, haven't we? Yeah, if you're a long-time watcher, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Could you be a little more specific? Specific? It's someplace really, really safe. We live in a world where each of us gets up every morning, gets dressed, has a cup of coffee, and goes off to work. Some of us think they do it better than others. In reality, some do. But all that matters is that each of us tries as hard as they can to make a difference. In that small way, I'm the same as everybody else. I try to make a difference, but the similarity stops right there. Everything around us is a lie. Remember that if you want to live. I'll give you this, girl. You must be something awful special for them to do it right here out in the open. He moves like the devil. You will not call me girl. You will address me in the manner to which I am accustomed. Fine, you got a name? Yes, it is Genie. You don't sound very sure of your own name, girl. It is Genie. Okay, Genie, you can start by getting your butt up off my bike. You do not intend to leave me here? Nope. I intend to buy us a little time. What? Look around you, on the street, at the office, in your home. Everyone you see is pretty much the same. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. Time to take the fight back to them. Woot, 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 woot. X to the base, we're hit. Ba-boom. We better get going. Who are you? A friend. For now, at least. And this continues. And they go underwater to the ship. This really reminds me of a Brandon Peterson. It was Code Name Strike Force issue 1. If you go back and watch the Codename Strike Force, it's actually the Cyber Force issue 1 versus Codename Strike Force issue 1 side-by-side review that I did. I think you'll actually see an image very, very similar to this. But, you know, now we're underwater and we've got underwater people. I mean, we've got like a little bit of everything. What? He takes his arm off. I don't even know what to say. This is absolutely the most unique comic book Rob Liefeld ever published, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm okay with this. Hello, nurse. Hello, nurse. So this little gem just keeps going like this. And all of a sudden, this character who we briefly saw in the Evangeline Prelude comic book from Awesome Entertainment that I flipped through a few videos back. Apparently all this stuff was originally intended to interconnect. But unfortunately, there you go. There's one somebody could color right there. How about that? Just another reason to pick this up, all you young colorists out there. Apparently, all of this was supposed to interconnect in the Awesome universe. But for whatever reason, it didn't. You know, they just didn't have it together enough to really keep this line of products pumping out consistently. And much, you know, this is the thing that has haunted Rob Liefeld his entire publishing career. Whether it was at Image or Maximum Press or here at Awesome Entertainment, he could not get these books out in a reasonable amount of time and maintain reader interest. I am thoroughly fascinated by GEX. Absolutely fascinated by it. Unfortunately, it simply wasn't meant to be. Maybe at some point in the future, Rob will return to this. You know, he recently talked about how he's done drawing for Marvel for a while and he wants to get back into doing creator-owned projects. And I'm very excited to see that happen because I am a Rob Liefeld mark, obviously. If this Rob Liefeld appreciation season hasn't shown you that, well, I don't know what will. You know, a guy with a long box full of Rob Liefeld comics obviously, clearly, is going to buy anything that Rob's attached to. And I will, and I do. But this much anticipated series ended up falling short. It ended up having a lot of these prequel stories and 2 issues of its own comic book, GEX issue 0 and GEX number 1. And I would long for the days for this to return. Even if it was just to finish, you know, the first story arc he had planned. That would be really nice. It's always really frustrating to me when you get 2 or 3 or 6 issues into a series and it's canceled. I wish that these publishers would take the time to allow and take the risk. You know, it is a risk. It's a monetary loss to allow the writer and the artist to just wrap it up. Just say, okay, guys, you need to wrap it up next issue. We're canceling this. Because it's just such an extreme letdown for fans. It's a maximum letdown for fans. It's an awesome letdown for fans to not be able to finish a story that they invested their time and their money into. And that seems to be something that regularly happens, whether it be at Maximum Press or whether it be at Awesome Entertainment. There are a lot of stories I invested into that I've shared with you here over the last month that simply don't have a conclusion and will probably never have a conclusion. And I can't imagine there being much more disappointing than that in comic book fandom. But it is what it is. So, if you liked this video, I humbly ask that you click that share button. Don't be afraid to tag Rob Liefeld in it on Twitter. Share it with your friends. Then and only then, do you smash that thumbs up. If you're new, you subscribe. You hit the ding dong for notifications. And I hate to say this, but we have reached the end of our journey into the Awesome Entertainment universe. But that means a new journey is going to begin. Because you have to ask yourself, what happened to the popular characters that fans really loved, like Evangeline, like Glory, like The Coven. Well, they did continue on at another comic book company. Youngblood itself also continued on at the fourth publishing company Rob Liefeld opened. And we're going to talk about those over the next couple of days for Rob Liefeld Appreciation Season here on Crypto Comics. So stick around.